We're coming to you from the MUSC Urban Farm, and today we're going to talk about planting trees in the ground. So today we have a ruby red grapefruit. It's a container grown tree as opposed to balled and burlap. So there's a couple of nuances that we need to do to get this tree ready for going into the ground. So we selected this ruby red grapefruit. It has pretty good form. It did come in a container. And what we need to do is we need to dig the hole 3 sizes wide as the tree container. You know, the same location for the tree. So we're going to move it, set it aside for a minute while we dig our hole, which may only take a minute on this, but it actually takes longer than a minute in real life. Now, before you dig, you need to call 811, Palmetto Utility Protection Service, and get a mark out. Now, they will mark out gas, electric, water, things of that nature. As a homeowner, they don't always mark your side of the line, especially the water. Sometimes they do. Now, as you can see in our hole, we have 2 lines through here. Those are our irrigation lines, which definitely will not show up on a mark out. But if you know where your irrigation stuff is, or if you discover it, you can dig around it carefully. Here we have urban soil, which isn't the greatest. We have 8 inches of nice, good, clean soil, probably thanks to the urban farm. And then we hit what looks to appear parking lot clay, brick debris, and all kinds of trash. So, since it's clay, not good drainage, we're probably going to plant this tree a little higher than we normally would and allow it to get into this good soil, but it will still penetrate and anchor its roots into the clay. From a height standpoint, it looks like right now we're about that deep. We bring this over to our root ball, and we look like we're more than deep enough. So we can actually add a little soil back into the mix. As a test, we will put this guy right in, and you can see that the tree is too low. Way too low. You should always have root flare coming out of the soil. So this tree really needs to be about that high, about 1 to 2 inches above adjacent grade. So you can see we're more than deep enough. We're going to put some of this better soil down in the bottom to help encourage root growth. Now that we've established the height for our tree, we're going to use a saw to gently root prune this guy and just cut the roots real gentle. Essentially, we're going to take this circle and we're going to make it a stop sign. I know this looks brutal, but it's essential for trees that are going in the ground. This will allow that signal to come out and allow the anchor roots to really get developed, which is what we want, especially in this environment where we are prone to high winds. So, now that we've cut all those roots, some people cut the bottom. I don't. I like to just pull the bottom because it's hard to know what is still around. you that way. So normally on a tree that goes from a seedling, you'd only have one of these main roots, not a bunch. But because of the plastic pot, a whole bunch of these roots came down and said, hey, there's a lot of good stuff down here. Long term, this will make better ground attachment for this tree, which means better nutrient absorption. So now we want to face the tree the direction that we want. As you can see, this tree is more heavily concentrated on this side. So I would turn that back away from where the main sun is and allow this tree to get more sun on this side. Then we gently start moving our backfill back in. You want to compact the tree halfway when you have the dirt in. Then we want to ensure that it's straight. Okay. No dirt should be left on top of the root ball. In fact, I'm always hesitant to put more than a dusting of mulch on top of the root ball. Now, you can see that we are approximately 2 inches higher. Again, the reason for that is because we know there's a lot of clay, a lot of moisture in this soil. Now, we do not have the saucer on this tree because we have 2 drip lines going by, so we know that it's going to get watered according to our irrigation plan. Now, from an irrigation standpoint, if you have irrigation, you can plan on watering this tree longer, less often. In other words, you're better set to water this tree 3 times a week, 1 hour each day, versus 20 minutes every other day. That makes the roots grow deeper, faster, and will make it more survivable during drought sessions. This tree is watered in good, and again, you can see that we have some roots that are visible. We really don't want to get too much on top of the root ball, but we want to keep those roots nice and moist. Now, as you come out, you can get a little thicker if you want, especially given that it's citrus and it likes its roots nice and warm and insulated, which is what mulch does, as well as retain moisture. So, see that where it's thickest, we're not really on the root ball, but we are taking care of our urban soils. Now, it'll take a while for this tree to root in and grow to its desired height. We know that this ruby red grapefruit is probably going to get about 20 feet to 25 feet tall and about a 15 to 20 foot spread. So it will require some pruning on occasion and some care. But the benefit here is we're going to get ruby red grapefruits, which are delicious. And this planting has been brought to you by the MUSC Arboretum, celebrating its 10-year anniversary. And you can reach us on our social media pages at MUSC Arboretum.